Welcome to Tash Talks Soul. Hi, welcome back. On the back of my last episode about Michael Newton's book, Journey of Souls, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the distinction between twin flames, karmic souls, and soulmates. And I'll start with twin flames. So twin flames is a word that gets bandied around a lot on the internet at the moment. If you see those online tarot readings and everything's a twin flame connection, and all the spiritual memes are all about the twin flame connections. And maybe we are entering into a time where there are a lot more twin flame connections coming out because we are undergoing an evolution of our collective consciousness. But I feel like maybe also it's a term that gets overused a little bit. So twin flame in theory is essentially one soul that has been split in two. So it's two mirror halves. So it's a very mirroring connection. It is a very, it's a catalyst for growth and change. And so twin flame relationships are often tumultuous, and there is a lot of, not necessarily conflict, but a lot of triggering of each other's wounds and shadows, and shining a spotlight, sometimes not so gently, on what our weaknesses are, where our lessons lie. And so often they say with twin flame connections that they come together, they rush in, they collide, there's a lot of this tumultuous energy, this really intense chemistry, but nothing about it is calm, and that in this tornado of emotion they trigger each other's wounds, and basically there often is a period of separation between the two where they bring up all this wounding and then they have to separate, go their separate ways and work through the wounding. And some of them come back together once they're healed and go on to have healthy long-term relationships, but often that's not the case. It is meant to be a really full-on intense connection though. Lots of passion, lots of tornado of emotions, roller coaster, anything but calm. And so that then leads me on to karmic relationships. Now, karmic relationships are probably similar to the twin flame, but without the whole two halves of one whole. We can have multiple karmic relationships whereby we have people that come into our lives and their role in our life is to help us grow and to show us where our weaknesses are and show us where we need to heal and be a catalyst for change and for growth. And so karmic relationships don't typically last either. They are there to show us what our patterns are, and then part of the healing is to end that cycle, which is my understanding that karmic relationships, they come, they show us what work we need to do, and then they end. And then there is soulmate relationships. And soulmates don't have to be romantic. In fact, you know, even with karmic relationships, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be a family member. It can be, some people even say animals. It can be anybody, really. Be a friend, family member, somebody you know just out in life. It does not have to be a romantic partner. If we're talking about soulmates, I would say I have got quite a few people in my life that I would describe as absolute soulmates, and most of them are my friends. And soulmates have this really calm, loving, supportive, nurturing energy. They are there to just love you to pieces, love you, support you, calm, positive, high vibe. You know, these are the people that you feel like you can be absolutely 100% yourself with. You're always laughing. You just understand each other. You're on the same frequency. You just have to look at each other and you know what the other's thinking. There's no conflict. There's no arguing. Sure, there might be misunderstandings or differences of opinion, but it's not this really intense spotlight on your shadow, huge growth, by hook or by crook, you will learn this lesson kind of feeling with soulmate relationships. It is just pure calm. And I've read multiple articles that talk about meeting a soulmate relationship for a romantic relationship, and that these relationships start off really calm. It's a slow burn. There isn't this crazy, heady passion and chemistry that just takes over, when you first meet somebody, and it just knocks you off your feet and it's full on and you don't know up from down and you don't know what's happening, and it's just two magnets going zoom, being pulled together. It's not like that. It's really calm. You don't lose your mind. Slow burn. Really positive. Really gentle. Kind of supportive kind of love. And so when you look at those three different types of, I guess, soul contracts, soul relationships, it kind of shows you a picture of the different roles that different people have to play in our lives. And people might come into our lives and we think, oh, this is a twin flame, or this person is, the love of my life. And then you realize that they're not, that they're there to teach you lessons, and thank them and be grateful and know that you play that role in somebody else's life. You might be a karmic soul contract to somebody else. Maybe you've really hurt somebody, and then that is meant to be a catalyst for their growth. We all play these roles. It's all interconnected. And I'm not saying that, okay, what I'm saying is resonating with you for a twin flame connection, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed now listening to you because you've just said that these don't work out and that it ends in separation and karmic relationships end, and I don't want it to. I really want it to work. Make it work. There's no book that says just because something sounds like a karmic flavor relationship or a twin flame relationship that it has to end. You've got free will. If you can work through your shadows and make it work and grow together, then wonderful. Who says it can't work? Absolutely it can. No one else can dictate that except for you, because nobody is in that relationship except for you. I, in my life, have had very challenging relationships that I have worked very hard to heal, and still be able to have that person in my life and be able to have love and respect for them and be kind and friendly and positive and have a mutually fulfilling relationship as best as it can be with somebody that's hurt you a lot. So it's possible to work through, and sometimes, the format of the relationships that we have with people can change. Your relationship may start off in one format, and then as it evolves and as you learn your lessons, you grow, you might trigger each other, that format may evolve into something else. And so to summarize, soul contracts are spiritual agreements that we make prior to being born, while we're still in the spirit realm or heaven or whatever you want to call it. And karmic relationships are ending cycles, I suppose, unfinished business from past lives, pretty intense, lots of lessons to be learnt, not very peaceful. Twin flames, which are a really intense mirror soul connection where you're two parts of one whole, very, very intense, lots of very deep, heavy lessons, lots of triggers, lots of chaos, I suppose. And soulmate relationships, which are just beautiful and loving and not necessarily romantic, and soul family can also gently guide us towards growth, but it's a much calmer experience. And I also want to say that if you are in a situation where it's not healthy and it's toxic and there's a lot of conflict and very tumultuous, and you just know it's bad for you, that you're bad for each other, and you're looking at it and saying, oh, but it's my soulmate, oh, but it's my, twin flame, maybe reconsider using spiritual labels as a way to justify staying in situations and in relationships that are not working and are not healthy. I mean, it's your life, you do you, but at the end of the day, if you are looking at a situation through a spiritual lens and it maybe isn't the healthiest for you, then just remember that we all have free will and you don't have to stay in situations that are not good and not healthy. I still highly recommend you look at yourself and you do the inner work and you remain accountable for yourself and your triggers, your wounding and your shadow. But you don't necessarily have to stay in a situation that continues to re-injure you. There are ways to heal within a relationship and there are ways to heal by yourself. Probably the best healing happens as a combination of both. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. I hope that helped. Let me know what you thought or if you want me to dive in a little bit deeper into any of the topics. But yeah, have a lovely day. Bye.